Welcome to my 5th video. Today I will show you the exact location of Atlantis. All the present theories try to locate Atlantis on the little ball. Antarctica is Atlantis, it's in the Atlantic Ocean, or the latest theory, it is in Spain, and so on. They try to portray it as a big city. But when you put Atlantis on the bigger Earth, it all becomes so simple and obvious. For me, it's yet another puzzle piece falling on its place. For the people who think, what the hell is he talking about, the bigger Earth? You have to watch my previous videos. Links are above. There I state we are living on a bigger Earth. So let's take a look at Atlantis. The description of Plato. How could we recreate that image? Well, you would have a crater in a crater in a crater. But hey, where did I hear that story before? Exactly. Remember in my previous video I made a 3D object in which I simulated light. That gave the reflection of Saturn. So let's go back to Saturn on the moon map called Linné. Let's fill the dark shadows with water. 1 ring, 2, 3. Let's compare that with Atlantis. 3 rings of water, 3 rings of water. So, the conclusion is Saturn is Atlantis. But now a little bell starts ringing. I'm starting to realize why all the occult societies are obsessed with Saturn. Now, the rest of the story is getting very simple. Let's go back to the moon map. You have 2 important players here. You have moon crater Linné with the star name Saturn and the earth name Atlantis. And you have crater Sulpicius Gallus M, star name Sirius, our biosphere Earth. Thirdly, you have a big plain called Mare Serenitatis, calm sea. I guess it wasn't that calm. So, watch the location of Atlantis and of biosphere Earth. Atlantis is in the middle of the sea. Biosphere Earth is on the shores of a ridge. Now let's presume there is a tsunami on the bigger Earth, and the whole crater of Atlantis was flooded. That would have been an enormous disaster with earthquakes, and their whole biosphere would have been swallowed by the water. Part of the population could escape by boat and managed to save their family and some livestock. Was it Noah or Gilgamesh? 1 boat, several boats, we don't know, but part of the Atlanteans managed to escape. So Noah started sailing and managed to reach the shore. Here you see a simulation on the moon map. It must have been an enormous trip. I estimate it to be 2 million kilometers. Finally, land. Here you see an aerial view of their landing place, our crater. Finally, they landed their boat on Mount Ararat, a mountain near crater Earth. Once the water returned to a lower level, the Atlanteans and their family got out of their boat. From there they started walking. That would have been 40,000 kilometers. With a family and livestock, that could have taken 40 years. 40 years in the desert? Where did we hear that story before? Look at the position of crater Earth. It is very close to the shore. On the side of crater Earth, you see an opening that is lower than the rest. Once in a while, when water on the bigger planet is rising, water could leak into our crater. Maybe at a certain moment in time, a huge piece of ice slipped into the crater and caused an enormous destruction, the so-called ice meteorite. That meteorite was responsible for the rising of sea levels, and I think it sealed off the gateway to the bigger Earth. Earlier, people could enter our crater on foot. Now they need a boat. Slowly, this information of the gateway got lost, to the point where we are now. And now, at the present time, how are you going to explain water levels rising if you don't want to tell the people about the bigger Earth? Well, you invent climate change and you tell people the ice of Antarctica is melting because of fossil fuels. No, I think it's the water of Mare Serenitatis that is leaking into our crater. So, what's next? The Atlanteans enter the Promised Land and discover the Garden of Eden. It must have been a beautiful world. There must have been hominid races in the biosphere. I think that because of their higher technology, they must have been seen as the gods. Maybe some of the gods had difficulty breathing because of the different mixture of oxygen and needed some kind of respirator. Were they seen as bird gods because of that apparatus? Another question would be, were there giants? Of course, this is blasphemy for mainstream science. Was Homo sapiens around? I don't